All right, we're recording.
All right, welcome to the SPP. I made Sean begin to want to start the podcast.
Apparently, I'm about to be made fun
We were talking beforehand. I said, "Wait, no, you got to start because I want to make fun of you." Sean goes, "Well, I have normal then higher participation," and I really like this because Amy's just about to say that you're the worst, and Christine will probably roll her eyes at you because do you really not know why we have normal then higher than normal participation? Clue: it's also the same reason we're at a slightly weird time today.
Well, because Amy's going to be our guest, so the world knows it'll be awesome.
Yeah, nice try though, but it suck up to Amy. It's because we sent out an email specifically asking people if you want to join live.
Oh, but we've sent out emails before and still not had this many people.
We don't send them out every week. We send them out once in a blue moon.
Oh, well, sure, but we've sent them out before. This is still higher.
You're wrong, Johnny. It's because of me.
It is. It's because of Dave.
No, her. Not me.
Yeah, Christine says because we promised to quit teasing everybody.
Yeah, I actually think it is because of Amy here. I think it's because of Amy. My money's on her. We sent emails out before, but Amy's never been on the show. So we're talking to nominators.
So just, I don't want to blow anything. We know that Amy's on the show today. Amy Teagan, we still don't have a title for her officially.
She's the Sterling and Stone concierge.
I like that, if she likes that.
I think we batted it about. I don't know.
No, I'm not, says
No,
Amy.
I'm not.
Okay, so she's not the concierge. But do we know what the topic is? Because I actually didn't. I saw the email, but I didn't actually read it. Are we saying what we're stopping teasing people about?
So why am I the worst then?
Well, I just don't know what this is a complex web of lies. Who knows what? What's going to be revealed? All right, my turn to be the worst.
Yeah, I think we are officially revealing details on the Smart Artist Summit
2017 in the house. Okay, so this is there has been a lot of teasing on this. There's a bunch of little things I want to say, but this is going to be bigger, better, longer, faster.
Maybe bigger, longer, and uncut.
So anyway, so that's going to be today's topic. We are going to be talking about what the summit and details of when it is, where it is, who the speakers are.
Yeah, I think we'll be talking a little bit about last year, a little bit about what to expect this year, and just kind of, giving the details, sure, but I'm sure there'll be good stories. I don't know. Have we ever told the story about Ben Hale, Legend of Ben Hale?
I don't know if we have. I'm going to go turn my fan on now, but I'm going to listen. I'm going to let you tell that story.
Well, no, I think Amy might want to tell that story.
Oh, okay. She may want to tell that story. So I'm not going to turn my fan on. You guys talked amongst yourselves.
Yeah, she just said, in all caps, save it for the real show. Yeah, she's right about that. Dave, I know Dave for a fact has something cool this week. I think he has two cool things, actually.
Well, you better save them because we have a second episode we're recording.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So Dave, give me one of your two cool things. And don't say you don't have any.
Red Dead Redemption.
There we go.
That's it. That's all. Red Dead Redemption is an open world Western game made by Rockstar, same people that make Grand Theft Auto. Came out in 2010. It was my first Xbox game, my first console that I actually bought myself.
Dave bought me this game too, actually.
Did you play it yet?
No. I got to the wedding scene, actually.
You are the worst.
I got to the wedding scene.
I love this game so fucking much. And it came out 2010, and it's just a beautiful game. And I just love, I just like riding around. It's just so immersive. It's just so well done.
For the record, though, the Grand Theft Auto games are some of my favorite of all time. I think they're amazing.
This is even better. This makes Grand Theft Auto look like child's play, really. This game is just so perfect. And now they've just announced a sequel, but it's not coming out till fall 2017, which really fucking sucks because I can't wait that long because the trailer looks absolutely beautiful. The
trailer was stunning. Yeah.
I just want to play this game and disappear for a couple months while Sean wonders what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, I watched the trailer. I watched the trailer a couple times. Did you actually see the Nintendo Switch? Did you see?
Yes, I did.
What do you think of that?
I'm not sure what I think.
Oh, Austin is so excited. He was like giddy.
Yeah, I think
I was trying to work, and he's behind me, like to the side, and I'm like, dude, I know you're excited, but I can't. With every 2 seconds, oh, Dad, oh, I'm so excited right now. Very excited.
Yeah. I think that it just, what I admire about Nintendo is that they're fearless as a company, even when they're wrong. Like, they're so wrong so often, and yet they know who they are and what they want to create, and then they go do it. And I love what they did with the Wii, where Sony and Microsoft are just pushing more graphics. Like it's better graphics, it's better fun. But Nintendo, they're focused on a why. Like they are always.
We're gonna make something that can't play anything new.
Yeah. Like, and I understand the opposition too. I do get it. I do get why people, because you know how Nintendo would really kill it is if they just gotten the software game. If they just left the hardware game and they made like games for mobile. And
they are doing that now,
right? Or I know, but slowly, like not like. Yeah. Right.
Oh, don't worry. It'll happen.
Right. Because they'll be making billions of dollars. Right.
Yeah. So Mario is already like, it'll be out. It's
Mario Jump. Is that what it's called?
I don't remember. It's basically Mario on iOS. So once it's out and it makes billions, they're just going to change everything. Guaranteed.
Yeah. But if they made like, if you could get a Zelda game for PS5, like the world would be a better place. Like I would love that. But in the meantime, Nintendo continues to do their awesome stuff. And I really admire them as a company. And watching the Switch, I think that they're doing something different. And
I'm curious. It looks a little complicated. It looks a little stupid with those tiny little controllers. And all those people gathered around.
Just because they don't fit in your grizzly bear hands and you don't have friends, there's no reason to hate.
Gather around these tiny little screens. No, that ain't fucking happening, all right? Here's the thing. Here's something interesting.
This counts as both of your something cools.
Okay, yeah. Did you notice anything odd about the commercial or the trailer or whatever you want to call it for the Nintendo new device?
Maybe.
What did you notice is lacking in that commercial?
Well, graphic performance.
No.
What?
Children. There was not one kid in that ad.
Oh,
first time ever.
Oh, well, that's true, but I also think they're catering to people who are spending money. Like that's the first reveal. It's not for parents or for kids. It's for like that generation. That just seems smart to me.
Well, yeah, they need to target the kids though. I mean, they could do it in a second or third ad, obviously, but I find it also interesting is they showed games that aren't even technically going to be on the thing. Maybe Skyrim was on there, and Bethesda has said, "Well, no, we haven't come to a deal with it." So,
yeah, it was trying to show off what the system would be like, and I think they did that well, and I like that.
I thought it was thoroughly phony. All these people running around jet setting and getting together.
Oh my god, I was just
like, oh, that they were all hipsters.
They were all hipsters. They were all wearing
with
pork
little
pie
soul
hats.
patches and pork pie hats.
All right, I will do mine very quickly because.
That was it.
Yeah. So, but I love that. I loved seeing Dave like, yes, on Facebook yesterday. I'm so excited when Dave uses 80 O's in a so. It's big. That doesn't happen. But mine is really quick, and it's a creative thing I think people will love. So I'd never heard this before until this week, and I think it's awesome. It's the idea of when you're writing and you're writing dialogue, and you're trying to create a very particular scene where something specific has to happen in that scene, that you can think of what's called symphonic dialogue. And that's, if you think about like going into a recording studio, with a professional producer, and you have all these different tracks, right? So you've got like the guitar track and a vocal track, and that dialogue tracks are the same. You have like a track that's trying to like move the story forward, and you have a track that's like, there for subtext, and you have all these different tracks. And if you think of them as layers of dialogue, it's a different way of constructing the scene. And like, I really want to play with that a little bit. I'd never heard that before, and I actually love that a lot. I can really see that in my head, how it's basically when you hear a song, unless you really take the time to parse it, you're not hearing those separate tracks. They all come as one thing. And by constructing a scene that way, where different snippets of the dialogue are doing different things, I just think it's a really cool metaphor that I've never heard.
All right, mine is, and I feel like I need to step back before saying this, because this will be the fourth time that Mr. Robot has been mentioned in.
Oh no, Mr. Robot!
I'm not doing Mr. Robot.
We should just call.
I'm not doing this.
Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot is not my something cool, but it's something that was in it that I thought was really very interesting. But I've seen it done many other places. It's just this one really caught my attention. So the FBI character, Agent DePiro, Dominic DePiro, I really noticed this with her, and this isn't spoilers or anything like that, but I would think of this as like incidental characterization. I thought was done really, really well. So there's a few things about that character that have nothing to do with the plot yet. I mean, it's possible that these things might, because I haven't finished it yet. But what I really like this because it gives you an insight into the character that doesn't feel it needs to be plot relevant. So here's what I mean by that. I think the first time we see her, she's talking to her Alexa, her Amazon Alexa, and she's I don't even remember the scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
Right.
So weird.
And it's just weird. And then I think the second time we see her, she's on scene, and she's on a crime scene, and she's talking to one of the agents who has a cold, and she just says something very, by the way, about you really shouldn't be on the scene with a cold. It's irresponsible of you. And she just kind of walks away or something like that. Again, not really relevant. And then the third time, I think, or this is later, this is after some stuff has happened, we come in on her masturbating furiously to an chat porn. You remember that?
I do.
And then at the end, she goes, Alexa, when will the world end? And it gives her a description. It's just like none of this has anything to do with anything, but I love that character. Like she's so interesting to me now because of these things that don't strictly have anything to do with what's going on in the show. And I just think that's really cool when a creator has the confidence to do something like that, where they don't feel they need to tie every little thing into every little thing.
We should do something like where we instruct Alexa to do things that people don't want it to do, like dial 911 or something. Just horrible thing.
We don't know where to go with that.
All right. So, all right. Well, I'm not actually going to do an awkward ad read for various reasons. I'll instead introduce our guest, Amy Teagan, who maybe you've heard of before. Do you want a formal, I know you want a title, but do you have any idea what it might be?
No, I have no idea. Puppet Master, is that available?
Well, Sean's visionary, I guess.
I want to be an ambassador, and I want y'all to send me to conferences on your behalf. That's what
I like ambassador.
I do like ambassador. I don't know. We have to figure that out. But I like ambassador. You know what I mean? Because you're like
Sure.
you are the ambassador, so that works.
Sure. Bad cop, is that an option?
I love bad cop. I mean, I don't think it works as a description, but I love it. Like I'll be the bad cop.
I'll do it. I have no problem.
So
there's some suggestions in the chat, so we should check those out later.
Story ambassador, artist ambassador.
Or now is fine too. That's
Well, it's in real time.
How about Queen of the Realms?
yes.
So you are on to talk about the Smarter Artist Summit, which you are in charge of again this year. Hopefully
I'm
less
so excited.
Yeah, well, so what's the biggest difference this year and last year for you personally, Amy?
Oh, the biggest difference is that I'm not going to stab anyone.
Well,
were there actual any stabbings last year, or just the ever-present threat of a stabbing?
Well, the ever-present threat of a stabbing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad there won't be stabbing.
The biggest difference between last year and this year is last year I had to nag Sean to pick up ice on the way and get the security guard in the parking lot to not let him in until he confirmed that he had ice. And this time, the venue is actually providing me a minion that I can send to go get me a fancy latte if I want. So that's like the biggest difference to me.
A minion. It's
there'll be
literally
more
a
than-
minion. One of those little yellow
More
guys.
than 2 bathrooms.
More than 2 bathrooms. Yep, absolutely. Very exciting.
Do I have my own bathroom?
We shall talk about that. We'll talk about that later.
Wow,
Game
you want
over.
your own bathroom?
With
I
a
want my
velvet
own
rope.
bathroom.
Velvet rope and a bouncer outside. Good to see you, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, I am working on security for the event for you, Dave, so you have a bubble.
Good. All right.
We should get him, like, I wonder if you could buy it, like, as a prop, like the bubble that Jake Gyllenhaal had in Bubble Boy. Like, we could just get that for him.
I want
Just-
my own Pope Mobile, Daniel says.
I would like you to have a Pope Mobile. I think that would be really great. I think that since you were, I don't remember where it was, but you were bitching recently about walking all over Austin in something. It might have been that episode of Worst Show Ever that we were just talking about. Anyway, I think that we should walk everywhere and earn the bitching this year.
Fuck you.
Because don't people want to see Dave walk? Don't we want to see, live walking Daves?
Okay, so the floor that our room is on is in the round. There's a big ballroom in the middle and then meeting rooms are on the outside. So you can walk laps around the floor, Dave.
Good.
Tell people what they want. The walking
Dave
Dave
is
live.
awesome.
Well, I don't want to get in a whole Fitbit discussion, although.
And I will just let you guys know, this is a surprise on air. I will be abandoning my house for this period of time and getting another Airbnb with Dave.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. It's just a 1-bedroom.
So no, you don't get a private bathroom.
We got him a deflating air mattress. It's gonna be great.
I would love for you guys to do an Airbnb. Okay, if you actually do the Airbnb studio, I'll leave my house too. We get
All of you.
because that would be
Bloody
just
sheet.
awesome. No, did
Moving
you
my
say bloody?
toothbrush.
Oh, they're actually the bloody sheet. I forgot about the bloody sheet.
Bloodbath man.
Yeah. So what we're saying about the big difference here is that last year it was our first time, and so there was a lot of
Bootstrapping.
it was a lot of bootstrapping. Yeah, we didn't know what we didn't know, and we had to play it close.
And improvising, rolling with the punches.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we didn't know anything, and we even said like we're okay not making money on this as long as we break even. But even that, like that was very hard to do, and we didn't quite do it. And we had to rent all the furniture. We had a lot of volunteers from the audience. Was great. Amy really wrangled like all of it. Like she put on the event. So one of the things that probably won't happen going like what's interesting about this year is that it's kind of obviously in between last year and next year. But what that means,
Whoa, holy shit! If I'd have known that,
dropping the mic, I'm out of here, right?
Visionary.
But it is funny because like we know a lot about kind of where we want to go, where we want to take the event, the things that we want to do. But we're removed from last year, so we already have our stuff that we've learned, and we knew we wanted to do better. But it's not next year, and so like the time of year is part of that. Like it's apparently March, April. These are very busy times in Austin, and so that's something that we'll really listen and pay attention. And if you were there last year, you'll know all the stuff. Like the bathrooms is a really good example. Like 2 bathrooms, and there were some amazing. I mean, we have the best community, and so
yeah, we're gonna stop scheduling our 2 live events during South by Southwest and Austin city limits.
Right. We learn. It takes us a while, but we do have such an amazing community that last time they were saying things like, I mean, Dave wasn't saying these things, but other awesome people were saying 2 bathrooms. It's a chance to hang out while waiting in line. Right? People were really putting a positive spin on everything.
That's not Dave.
Right. Not Dave, to be clear. He bitched about it every time he had to go to the bathroom, and everybody let him cut.
Well, because just to be fair, like Dave was not only going to the bathroom with 2 bathrooms, he was going to the bathroom with an audience. Like there he goes, and then they'd be like right outside the door in case
Right.
anything
What
interesting.
if I got to drop it?
Why am I on the bathroom episode?
And then if Dave did something bad and they had to go in next.
Yeah. I'm dropping number 2 in.
Wow.
Just, yeah.
Wow.
Everybody hears it, and then the people that come in after. I didn't, by the way. I couldn't go to the bathroom for a week, by the way.
Okay. All right. We
So
don't need
if you
to
want to be
We're
in
done.
on Dave not going to the bathroom for a week, where do they go?
And to be clear, even though there were only 2, it wasn't like it was behind a curtain. Like they actually had doors.
God, you guys, we're done. With the
They were
bathroom.
paper thin doors.
So what can we? Do you just want to start knocking things off? Announce
Wait.
this. Announce this.
Yeah, I made a visual aid.
Oh, I didn't
Okay.
see this.
I made a visual aid. Everyone can see the date, April 26th and 27th in Austin. SmarterArtistSummit.com. Okay, tickets, that's the first official public mention of the dates. And we are
I
currently
don't think I can make that day.
57.5% sold out. All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I like
Yeah,
how
there's
exact
only-
that number is.
Yeah, there's
That's
only
the kind of math I like.
there's only like 100 tickets left. So
Yeah, there
where
is.
they're started, it's our capacity is larger this year, and like Amy said, it's already more than half sold out. And the reason for that, just so we're clear, we let the last year's people know first, and so anyway, don't wait.
SmarterArtistSummit.com. It's live, I think. And Christine put all the speakers up and the dates up and pictures from last year, and I'm so happy. Oh, and the FAQ was so much fun to write.
Oh my God. Yeah, and Amy's response was, I'm so proud I work for a company with this much snark. Because there is a lot of snark on that sales pitch.
Yeah, there is. And there's a Hamilton quote. Gold star to whoever is the first one to identify the Hamilton quote.
Oh man,
King, I know you're watching.
So what else? What else?
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to mention that it is on sale for a while. Do we want to mention that?
Oh yes, early bird pricing from now until the end of the year, and then it goes up. But I can't imagine we'll still have tickets then anyway, since so many people have already bought. But if you want it at the $500 price, you definitely need to get it soon.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of next year, it goes up to 800. So.
800.
Yeah, and so what do we want to talk about as far as like what are the big changes between this year and next year? What are the speakers? What can people expect? What the fun stories from last year? First. Okay.
We spent some time like brainstorming who would be good and who would be like on the wish list. I think this event is special because we did not just go for really big names.
Well, can I do the framing on that, Amy?
Yeah, actually, Johnny should, because this was we had discussions about this.
Yeah. So there's one of the things that's really kind of cool about the way that we hash out ideas at SNS is, now that Sean and I have realized that we aren't the same person, we do.
Yay!
We do notice different ways of coming at things, and I think the harmony is very, very good. And one of them is that Sean will propose something that is secretly genius in some ways, but I don't see it right away, and so but he's like assuming that we get that the world gets it. And
yeah, okay, wait. I just want to interject real quick because that is like my number one thing to grow on right now, and I think I am doing a better job. But it's Johnny's so right. Like I'll have an idea and I'll just assume everybody sees it with perfect clarity in exactly the same order of events as I do, and that I don't even have to explain. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's the thing, right? And so we're much better about like actually slowing down to have these conversations, and so that's what we're talking about here.
So basically, what originally I was sort of like, well, so we want to have some really big names, right? Like we want to have blockbuster names that everybody knows. We and not that we wouldn't have Hugh Howey, but for instance, like Hugh Howey, like wouldn't we want big names? And Sean was like, well, we want this person and this person, which we'll talk about in a second. And I was sort of like, well, so it's not necessarily like some of those are big names, but some of them aren't. And what we arrived at here, because I'm not doing a great job of like giving the journey, is what we want to do is we want to present, we say what is the pool of talent? What are the things that we believe a smart artist needs to know? And who are the people that we go to when we want to know those things? So who are our experts? Who are our go-tos? And again, I'm sorry that I chose Hugh because it's going to sound like I'm shitting on him. I don't know Hugh well enough to ask him advice. I'm just saying. So like the people that drive this company, the people that are our advice makers, those are the people that we wanted to have. And Sean's framing initially, like I wasn't getting that. I wasn't like, oh, okay, well, we need to say that. Like we need to say, these are the people that we think you should be listening to. So we're putting them on our stage with us, of course, rather than arbitrarily getting people just because they already have a larger name.
Right. And that was my big pushback is like, I don't want to get people just because they have name brand recognition. I want to get people who are going to make us all collectively smarter, faster. I want to get people who get who we are as a community. And, if there's a big name out there and they don't know who we are, they don't know our vibe. I want people who the smarter artists can bond with. I want people who make us all stronger, who gel us as a community, people who will make us laugh, people who will make us think. Like this is really important. We're there for 2 days. So we want bonding to just be crazy awesome. And we want the takeaways where people go and start approaching their business differently. And so it's also, there's any industry can be a little bit incestuous. You hear the same voices over and over, and you get the same lineup of speakers with a little bit of crossover. And so we really wanted to think, what are the things that people aren't talking about that they should be? Where is the industry going? Where do we look for advice? What does our network look like? Who do we know that is genius that we could share? And so that completely gave us a different framework for who to put the guests on, because I really felt like one of the things that made last year's event super special was that the speakers were amazing, but it wasn't about the speakers at all. It was really
big names sell tickets. So I'm really proud of our company for not making that easy grab. Like if we could have ponied up for somebody who would have just sold a lot of tickets, but that's not the event that we're putting on. I mean,
No.
the event that we put on last year, and I know that I should let Amy talk, but just real quickly, like, we didn't get a stage. We didn't, the point is we just said, and we sat up there with our speakers, like we didn't hold the same kind of event. Joanna Penn had slides because she's very pro, but the rest of us are we talked, we were up there with people. And so I'm just proud that we made the choice to have that kind of an event. And now I'll shut up.
So we spent a lot of time brainstorming like a big list, and I still have the full list for next year so we can revisit it. And then once we had a full list of possibilities, we kind of looked at it like who would be best as a follow-up from last year and how can we balance the topics. I feel like last year was very marketing heavy and this year needs to be more of a balance because we don't want it to just be a business conference.
That's a really, really good point because we had a couple of our original lineup was a little different. And we had to think, okay, well, is that varied enough? Are we teaching? And it's not even teaching, it's experiencing together this right group of things that it's holistically looking at all of this stuff together. Are people going to approach their businesses differently when they get back to their desks the next week?
Right. So let me actually pull up the speaker list so I can go through it in the order that it's on the page. Sean met Jenna Sword.
Mm-hmm.
SOARD.
SOARD just a couple weeks before we finalized this list.
Yeah, she kind of snuck onto this list.
Right, she totally snuck on. So Sean, you talk about Jenna. Like, what do you know about Jenna and why are we so excited to have her on the list?
Yeah, I met Jenna on when I went to, actually the shirt I'm wearing right now, it says Awe, you can't really see it. It says Awe Hunter. And I got it at Camp Good Life. It just came in the mail yesterday. Jonathan sent it to me to say thank you for coming to Camp Good Life. And I met Jenna at Camp Good Life. She was one of the people giving a workshop on like how to blow up your brand. Like she's a branding expert. She worked for Nike for the Live Free campaign. Like she's smart. She's been a university professor, and now she teaches designers how to do it. She builds courses for designers to find their brand, but she really understands branding, and it's about kind of DIY, but with a little bit of a budget. Anyway, she's sharp. She's really, really sharp. And it's one of those things that I don't see a lot of authors talking about branding at all. And yet the better you can brand yourself as an author and your series as books and all of this stuff, the better shot you're going to have. And it's one of those things where pretty much anytime we as a company can raise our hand and say, that's something we want to learn more about, we have to ask ourselves, is that something that our audience wants to learn more about too? And chances are that a good percentage is. And so we're looking at these different lines that we're trying to brand for ourselves for next year and thinking, you know what, that's absolutely something we want to learn more about. And she was one of those people that no matter what question I had, she had a really good answer. And it just seemed like, okay, well, that's something that we want to share with the audience.
Yes, I'm very excited. She's very smart. We met her a few weeks ago. We also have, this is one of the bigger names. David Gaughran is going to be coming all the way from Europe to
yeah, that's pretty awesome.
We are so excited about David Gaughran.
And let's let Johnny talk about this one because Johnny pushed this. Actually, this was Johnny.
Yeah, we hadn't. David is kind of he's kind of a nomad. He'll go here, and he just kind of. I don't know. He's not I'm going to join and participate and be really, really visible and all this stuff. But so sometimes we tend to forget about him. Like he's got this really visible blog and these books that he really has a name for himself. But he's not flashing lights and fireworks. And so sometimes we kind of forget about David. And we really like David. He's been on the show I think twice, and we really respect him. And I just like, well,
Dave's jealous of his beard though.
Right.
I've been following David since he
before we published. Yeah, since before we published.
Yeah,
he's a smart guy.
He's one of my favorite people, and one of the things I love about him most, and I've talked to him quite a bit off air. He's pretty much like a journalist. Like he goes after scammers and stuff. And
He really does.
He's not afraid to step on toes and call out like big publishing companies that are like screwing over people. And he's truly somebody that cares about the artists. He cares about integrity, and he cares about people not taking advantage of others, of writers specifically. And I'm pretty sure that like his boldness has probably cost him job opportunities, or perhaps publishing opportunities,
or sponsorships or something.
Yeah, because he is so bold and he cares so
It
much.
didn't cost him a speaking spot at our summit.
No, he's a hero of mine. I love the dude, and I'm glad that he's going to be there. Can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, he has manners too, which I just like. He's the
Oh,
best.
so he doesn't actually belong there. Never mind. Take it back.
No, but the point is that we don't want we want a fun event, and we want an event that has a sense of community. And I don't think we would have asked David if we didn't already feel that we had very good rapport with him. Like he, we respect him and he respects us. He's been on our show and he laughs at our dumb jokes, and we think he's awesome. And so when I asked him, he was like, well, yeah, that sounds like fun. Make sure you buy me a pint of beer at the bar or something like that. Like he said something like that. And so that's very, very, I was very happy. And I showed that, hey, David's coming. So this will be I believe a rare stateside appearance. He's flying, I think he's back in the UK now for David Gaughran. And so that'll be really cool to hang out with David in person.
Yeah,
I don't drink alcohol, but I will make an exception if I'm with David at the bar.
You have a beer with David?
I think that Dave.
Hey!
Wait.
I think
would
Dave
like
is
to know
hoping that something
first-
happens if they get lubricated.
My
He's got a
first
sexy
beer in
voice.
Dave, just to be clear, Dave has never accepted a drink with me. So if anyone out there keeping score. So one other thing that I think that all of our speakers have in common too is that they unflinchingly tell the truth. And they're not on stage to sell something. They're not on stage to do anything other than share. And that's a bottom line thing for us. It's just important. And I just saw something from here. I think it was from Mindy. Yeah. In the chat, she said, yeah, I follow Jenna. Love her. She specializes in a personal brand and putting your personality to make your brand unique, which is exactly what an author is.
Jenna's brand is so damn cool. It's like she's got this retro
Rockabilly.
pinup girl, rockabilly, bomber girl sort of thing going on. It's like you just, is it just, what's her site? Is it
it's youcanbrand.com.
youcanbrand.com. And just the like there's the picture of her like riding a bomb and stuff with her aviator goggles. Her brand
Her
is
dog's
really
name is
cool.
Picasso too, which is kind of awesome.
Right. Well, she was showing us a video that she did of her, advertising something, and it's just very Jenna. And I think that being able to step into your brand like that and say that this is who I am, that's something that we really believe in.
Yeah.
So the next speaker that we have is probably somebody that most of y'all haven't heard of, which makes it even more awesome. Calvin. I'm going to butcher your last name, Calvin. Chenier.
I think that's how I would say it too.
Calvin is like original gangster with SPP. He was one of the tiny handful of brave souls that risked coming to the World Builder Summit in September of 2000.
Only the coolest people went to that event.
Obviously. And Calvin has been around for the last 2 years, been part of our Stone Table, been to all of the events. He is so generous is the first word that I think of when I think of Calvin. And he's got an MBA, and he's going to be teaching about having a thriving author business, like what you need to do to take care of yourself financially and from a business point of view to make sure that you can make this your career going forward and not have to go get a day job at McDonald's because you forgot to set aside money for your taxes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the world of Calvin. I think he's generous, he's funny, he's smart, and he's just like what I love is he's really practical too. So he has a plan, he has a long-term plan, and I've known him now for a couple of years and just seen him like steadily grab that plan. And he's just a really good example, I think, in our community of somebody who says, this is what I want, and he slowly makes all of the moves to get there and adapts along the way. Like it's kind of funny. You know, we'll probably talk about this on stage rather than now, but there are a couple of moments we've seen in his journey which were complete shocking pivot points, and like, but his ability to see what he wants and figure out ways to get there, and just share the successes and the missteps along the way. I think everybody will learn a lot from him.
Calvin is also kind of an understated ninja. He just, this is a real small example, but you know, the first book he wrote was it's called Burning Uncle Tom's Cabin, and it reimagines you know, Uncle Tom's cabin. So you know, in the public domain, and so he rewrote it from the slave's point of view. And I remember, do you remember the ad he ran that he told us about? It was a Facebook ad, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just a list build. Like, I don't even think he was.
It was for list. Yeah.
And if I don't know if I'm getting it totally right, but it was. I think it had a slave woman, and it said something like, "What would you do if your child was taken from you?" or something like that. And it's just.
Now he's got a giant list of African American women who read.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then he targeted it at African American women, and it was just like I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, nobody is not going to join that list. Nobody who receives that ad is not going to join that list. It was just very, very ninja.
Yeah, agreed.
He'll be great. I'm very excited. Also,
he's also a riot.
Yeah, I was going to say that he's funny in a very clever, understated sort of way. It's disarming. It's awesome. I love it. The humor.
Well, continuing on our list of awesome people, Christine Niles. Maybe you've heard of her.
Who's that?
She's like, I don't even know where to start. You boys like have no idea what she has done for you. Like, I know that you think that you know, but the difference in Sterling and Stone between like March of last year and now is 700%.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. There's no doubt about it. A lot of the cool stuff we've done this year, like The Apprentice, would not have been possible. And
everything cool we did this year would not have been possible.
And the amazing stuff that we're planning for next year, not possible. So yeah, we as a company owe Christine just a tremendous amount, and you as a community owe her a tremendous amount. So yeah.
Yeah, I just like to say about Christine is, you know, we were talking about at the beginning how we wanted to introduce you to the people that we go to and that we take advice from. And actually, I don't know if we've told this story, but Christine used to work for other people, and we did a promotion, and she wrote the thing that went out. And I just remember looking at that and saying, like, because she did know us at the time. And I remember looking at that and saying, we had been looking for a writer at that time. Now, she didn't just become our writer. She became our marketing manager and stuff, but we were looking for a writer. And I thought, oh my God, we had been trying copywriters. We'd been like trying to figure them out. We tried out a few people and it just didn't kind of work. And we distinctly said, Sean and I, oh my God, can we just get Christine? We knew exactly who she was, and we knew who had written this. And it was like, it required no edits. This would have been a perfect thing that she could have written and sent out for us. It got us perfectly. It got everything. And I just remember saying, oh my God, why can't we just get her? And so that's who and then we met her at the last year's summit, and well, guess who is, you know, looking for a new position. And so we snapped her up right away. But that's how we didn't just hire a writer. I just want to be really clear on that. Like, that's not who we're putting on. Hey, we found somebody and we're going to put her on stage. Like, this is the person we were specifically looking for.
Here. I'll tell a really good example here that just, it kind of illustrates this. So Christine's first job when she came on board was to start getting sterlingandstone.net in place, because if you've seen it lately, it's beautiful. But if you saw it like 6 months ago, not so much. It had a lot of work to do. And so we were basically just asking her to do some copy for it. Like, okay, here's like work on about page. And I think the copy, actually, there's still areas where that needs to be fixed, because that just wasn't her focus. Immediately, she was like, no, you have to think about customer journey. Like, when they get there, you know, are they a reader? Are they a writer? A lot of that stuff, which is really the genius in the way the site is designed right now. There's two things going on there. There's, you know, Seth's very elegant design, and Christine's user interface. And like her user experience there is just, it's a beautiful thing. And she thinks in terms of funnel design. She thinks in terms of conversion. She's a very smart copywriter, very smart project manager, very smart. Christine's problem is she's too good at too many things. So we take advantage of that. And we're like,
and
hey,
she wants to do it all.
And she wants to do it all, right? So here, Christine, here's the 38,000 things you can help us with this week. And she's like, well, what about the 41,000 things I owe you? And we're like, well, we get to them all eventually. She's like, okay. And so, but the bottom line is there that she has an intimate knowledge of how our company works, how authors think, what the modern author needs. And she's also very, very generous with her ideas. And I think that everybody will learn a lot from her.
She's redesigning most of our autoresponders right now, most notably our Smarter Artist nonfiction autoresponder, but also our fiction ones. And that's hard. Like, that's hard. The nonfiction one is hard, but it's also logical. Like, people understand nonfiction autoresponders and Go Here and stuff, but she's redesigning the fiction ones for like Realm and Sands in particular. That's the one I know about. And not just like segmenting, so we know how many people have been on for this long and list hygiene and all that, but also like sideways series funnels, like, if you've read this, then click here and blah, blah, blah. And that's genius stuff. Amy, should I divert and mention the thing before?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Christine is awesome, so we're going to give you more Christine. And
More Christine. Just stay tuned for a Christine-related thing before like booking your flights is all I'm saying.
Wait, okay, so let's go on to the next speaker, who
Okay.
I just want to say that he was on our wish list before he worked for the company.
Yeah, this
is what we do. People come and see us and they're on our wish list, and then we just hire them.
So Clark Chamberlain is going to be one of our speakers talking about craft and story building. And like, I personally know that he can talk about that for hours on end. So it's going to be really,
and not like me where I'm just blathering.
No,
everything he says is
the
intelligent.
thing that I love about Clark is when he buys nonfiction books, he just picks and chooses what he wants to read because he hates all the fluff that's in it. So I know that when in his speaking, window at the summit, it's going to be just so full of content because he doesn't want to talk about fluff. He doesn't want to let Sean babble on about whatever.
Right. No.
Real stuff.
Right. It's great.
So we do. So we've got that speaker talking about craft, and then the last one on our list, another big name that I'm super excited about is Chris Fox.
Yeah, Chris Fox is great. So Chris Fox is out of the lineup here. He's the least intimate with us, I guess, as far as how far back our relationship goes or how well we know him. But Chris is just like clearly done some amazing things.
Also a ninja.
Yeah, in the last year plus, like it's not his right to market messaging, which is great. It's the fact, it's how he does it. He's not teaching people to write to market. He's saying that writing to market, choosing something a genre that you love and can really get behind. So it's not just what he's doing, it's how he's doing it. And it seems like every time he comes up with a new thing, it's so well thought out and it's so well articulated, and his heart is clearly in the right place and he clearly has the right message. And so we just think really highly of Chris and are super excited to have him join the party.
Yeah, he came to the event as an attendee last year, and he made sure he introduced himself to me and then backed away because he saw I was busy. And he's part of the community. He's just too busy actually writing books.
It's right.
The thing I was going to say two things about Chris. Number one is there's a lot of stuff that he's doing that's amazing that I can't really say. You know what I mean? Like, just trust me, it's amazing. But the other was that I don't exactly know how to say this, but like Chris he's done well, he's doing well. And he sat right up front last year and paid total attention, focused attention, the whole time, great eye contact the whole time. Every time I looked over, there's Chris with his giant werewolf beard, like, just like, and that's that, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people could be where Chris is and be arrogant about it, or like, I don't need to learn anything new, but he's not that way. And that's why he's so successful.
Or just sitting there, like, trying to make connections and sell stuff to people.
Right.
And I'm so glad we didn't have that at our summit last year. Everybody was there to learn and to help one another. They weren't looking at it like as an opportunity to sell their wares, so to speak.
Yeah, don't be, just so you know, if you didn't come last year, there's kind of a no asshole rule. You know what I mean? Like no complaining and no being a dick bag. Like you better be cool because it's a cool event and we don't want to ruin our perfect record so far of people feeling like this was different from most conferences. It wasn't whining writers. It was people who do the work. It was people who were very supportive. There was a lot of support last year. There's already some amazing new community support happening this year in terms of people helping other people out. And so you got to be cool if you want to come.
But Dave will be there.
And Dave will be there.
Dave's a whole different person.
She's saying I'm an asshole. That's what she's saying.
Yeah, but you're
allowed to.
Yeah, but he's not even. He's a teddy bear. He just
Austin Dave, Danielle Corley.
He just has to get out of redacted. That's all.
Oh, the picture of Dave hugging Nick Stevenson on this page is pretty funny.
Right? That's a real special one.
That's pretty awesome.
Nick looks like he might be like in pain in that photo.
He's saying, please stop.
Oh, if anything, he's too into it.
Yeah. So my favorite thing about the event last year was exactly that. It was how everybody was just there. The amount of doers. That's what we kept talking about during the event, and then after the event was, wow, there are so many people here who are just doing the work. There's so many people here who are they're not talking or dreaming about being a writer. I mean, they're doing that for sure, but they're also.
Let's talk about what kind of writer this is right for. Like, is it okay for somebody if they haven't published anything, or is it okay for somebody if they've published 30 books?
I think it's okay for both of those people, but I think it's best for the people who are like in between those. I think if you've already done 30 books, you could if I guess I have done 30 books. So if I was there, yes, I would have a really good time just having fun. So I'll equate this to a lot of the events that I've been doing recently, like going to masterminds, right? And I've been doing this for 6 years now. And I've noticed recently, like I used to go in as very timid. I hadn't done anything online. I was just an observer. And now like, I don't shut up. I'm always talking at the tables. So it's just where you are. And you could go in as somebody who's just, and we definitely had a few people last year who went in as observers. But I also think that they went in with the right mindset, so they didn't leave just as an observer. They went with like, okay, all right, crap. So I've been observing all this time, and all these people are doing stuff, and then they went back to their desks and made things happen. And so I think that there is a lot of value in being around, people who are already doing what you want to do. And there's value in seeing people who are still striving for that. I think it's not about how much you've done, it's about who you are. I think that our community tends to attract givers rather than takers. Yeah. And if you think of yourself as a giver and you want to share what you've been doing, then this is the right place for you. If you're one of those people who thinks that other indie authors are your competition, then it's not the right place for you.
I think this is a good point for me to say. I actually will not need as many volunteers this year as I did last year. So I'm really sorry, you guys. Like last year I think I took like 40 or 45 volunteers and I had to turn people down. And this next year I need significantly fewer than that. So I'm sorry to everybody who won't get to be put to work.
Okay, so
we'll have, I just want to mention real quick, I'm reluctant to mention specifics on this because I don't want to confirm and have people.
Why are you mentioning it?
Because all right. Well, but because it's a
so
thing.
Adorable.
Like I know some of them. I know some of them are for sure, but there's some I want to mention, but I can't. There are going to be people there that are in the industry, like reps and stuff. There's some that I can't confirm just because we haven't nailed it down totally, but people have said yes that.
I don't think you can confirm anything.
And I can't confirm any of them.
I don't know.
Mark will be there. I can confirm Mark and Dan will be there, and I can confirm.
That's not what I thought you were saying. So.
Okay, well then, shut up.
Okay.
We love Mark from Kobo.
Right, Mark from Kobo will be there. Dan Wood from Drafted Digital will be there, and
There'll
others.
Be a bar in the hotel, yes. And you can get them all smashed.
Mark is
Dave won't
very
drink
large.
Have a beard and a Scottish accent.
We had comments that Mark seems like he should be really intimidating because he's very large, very tall.
He
and
looks like he accepts money for death. That's what he is. He
Right.
does look
And when
bad.
he's in his suit, like you're just waiting for it. But there are other reps that I'm very excited about that we are 90% sure are going to come, but we can't confirm them. But yes.
Um,
So let's talk about the schedule for the whole week, because that is actually different than last year too.
okay, can I just do something real quick? Because
No.
Tammy has asked me twice to tell this story, and then Dave just pinged me to tell me that Tammy is asking me to tell this story. So I'm going to tell the story real quick about Julia Kent, because I think it does illustrate kind of the
Julie
community.
was one of our speakers last year.
Right.
She'll be here for this one, but she may. Who knows?
She's in the stone table, so
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she's going to come for the event. But we'll see.
we'll see.
I-
We will see. But you guys wouldn't let me announce anybody, so I'm just saying.
I think she'll want to. Anyway, yeah, so she was one of the speakers last year. She writes romantic comedies. She's really smart, really funny, and she's sitting on this little, because we didn't have a stage, we had bar stools, and we would just sit in there, and it was real like a discussion. And so we're right about to start, and she leans over and she's like, "I just made New York Times and USA Today," and I said, "That's great, that's awesome, that's what you should open with." And she's like, "Yeah, I can't open with that. That's not, you don't open with that. Like,
It's not cool because
it's not
people
cool.
get
Writers are jealous
about stuff.
right?"
Yeah.
And so it was just, I'm like, no, not here. Like, this is not the. Everyone's friendly here. It's a warm crowd. Tell them that, they'll be really happy for you. And she's like, she was very timid about it. She said, "No, I can't do that."
They've got pitchforks.
Well, she actually, okay, so she had, it was her son's birthday, and it was the first time she traveled in a long time, because her doctor told her she was traveling too much and she had to stop. So this was her first time traveling and her son's birthday. And she said, and I said, "You're missing your son's birthday and it's the first time you traveled. Why?" And she said, "Because you're my people." And I said, "All right, well then, so you trust?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Then just trust me here. Just open with that. Say that you made the list and see what happens." So she did. And she was clearly scared. She was clearly like, "I'm not really sure about this." And she did. And the whole room just erupted in applause for her. And that was just a very telling moment, because the last thing that she said to me before we started, because she was still in convincing mode, she did not believe me. And she said, "How many writers' conferences have you been to?" And I said, "Well, none, actually. I don't really go to writers' conferences." And she says, "Well, I've been to a lot, and this is not going to go over well." And that's when I said, "Just do you trust me?" And she said, "Yes." And it was a really, it was a magical moment, because you got to see that she had to let go a little bit, but the audience was right there with her. And it was
Trustful.
really, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's why if you're not cool, I will light you on fire.
That's our slogan this year.
Really.
Yeah. So apparently, for those of you at home keeping score,
We're having T-shirts.
No.
That's what it says on the back.
stabbing, but there will be lighting on fire.
Smarter Artist Summit 2017. And then you turn around. If you're not cool, Amy will light you on fire.
Yes. And I'm sure Rick Beard will wear that T-shirt for me if I asked him to.
I
There
think
you
you
go.
will.
What was I saying that we're going to talk about?
You were talking about the actual schedule.
The schedule. So last year I spent like all weekend and the several days beforehand doing all of the last minute stuff that made me want to stab people. This year will be different. We're going to do our stone table the weekend before. So a lot of smarter artists are going to be in town anyway. And I know of, I want to say 3 or 4 off the top of my head already, attendees who are going to be coming into town the weekend before just to hang out. So if you're coming into town, make it your vacation. John is coming from Germany for 2 whole weeks. So
2
don't let him.
Is Jan coming again? That's awesome.
He's coming again, and he's setting aside 2 weeks for us. Patrick Stemp is going to come for a week. Clark's going to come for a week. Logan's coming for a week. It's going to be amazing. So if you can, plan extra buffer time on either side of the event. So last year we did like a dinner for volunteers the Tuesday night before, and then I made them work. And this year we don't have to do that. So instead, but we're going to use that Tuesday before to have a, Johnny, help me frame this.
Okay. I hear that's
So,
what I'm good at.
The Tuesday before the venue, the summit.
Oh, okay. It took me a second to realize I already knew the answer to this. I thought you were going to say something and then I was going to reframe it.
No, you do it.
Well, I mean, the short version is that Christine is having a workshop. Like
More
she,
Christine! Woo!
More Christine. We don't have final numbers on any of that in terms of like it, but it's going to be a small group. It's going to be high value. It's going to be a little premium because it's a day with a small group. And so if you think you might be interested in that, just make sure you plan your plane tickets or your driving accordingly because it's a full day, right? I mean, I actually don't have the actual schedule for that.
It's a half day. It's going to be afternoon.
Okay.
So you will have time at night to get
right. It won't affect the nighttime festivities. Yeah, and there will be. This is a really good point that Amy's making because last year, and we actually didn't know this at all. So last year, one of the things that really bit us on the hotel blocks, and we got our faces chewed on those hotel blocks.
We would have been profitable. Significantly, maybe. I mean, not significantly, but a decent amount.
Enough.
Except that we just threw money away. We walked into the hotel toilets and dumped piles of cash into for nothing.
The hotel blocks were so terrible, and one of the big reasons that happened was because we didn't know. So we estimated wrongly that people would, basically come just for the event and like blow out of town immediately afterwards or come in just right before. But people wanted more margin than that. So the hotel that we had the block at didn't have room ahead of time or after time. They only had the blocks that we set aside. And so people were like, well, if I can't stay at the same place the whole time, I'll just book elsewhere. And so our blocks didn't get filled, even though the people were coming. So I do think that there's a lot of people are apparently doubling down. They're going to stay even longer, come in earlier, leave later. And so it is an opportunity to spend time with the community.
So we paid for unused rooms. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in the house with Johnny. What the fuck?
Yep.
Well,
you're welcome.
No, but they were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It was the wrong days. That's exactly.
Yeah, it was like you could have stayed the day before 50 times if you wanted. You just went like Groundhog Day. So let's talk a little more about Christine's event, about what it actually is.
I don't know if we know for sure.
Yeah, I think we can't. That's what we can't talk about. Just that we're having it. That's what a tease is.
A tease. Okay. Well, I thought the tease was we weren't ready on
focused because Christine is a ninja.
Yeah, it will for sure be what's awesome about this. Well, here's what I do know about the event. It will be ROI heavy.
Yeah.
So if you're in a position where you have assets that you are not leveraging, then it is going to be a little bit more expensive because it's not just general knowledge. It's intensive. It'll be, a half day, a few hours. But whatever we construct, it's going to be very specifically designed to have attendees ROI on those hours that they spend with us.
And there will be all sorts of like pickup events that occur. Last year, people did karaoke and.
Yeah, we did karaoke Thursday night. We did barbecue Friday for lunch. Since we don't have the stone table the weekend after, I anticipate being social for several days and then staying in bed for several days. So
yeah, this event is Wednesday, Thursday, and the Christine workshop is on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So you may choose to to come the weekend before or the weekend after. We will be engaged. Our mastermind is the weekend before. But there you go.
Yeah, I do think it's worth looking, if you're in the Facebook group. I'm seeing a lot of this in the chat right now about like, let's get an Airbnb together. That's a great idea. I mean, your money will go a lot farther. So one of the things we were talking about very early in this discussion is about the difference between this year and next year. So yeah, unfortunately, the time period that we picked is it's expensive in Austin that time of year. And so next year we would like to do a much better job of like getting our information earlier, booking it at a different time so that there will be more hotel choices and
we haven't said which hotel. So
let's do that.
So I bullied the boys into letting me book at a hotel this year because I'm lazy and I wanted somebody else to do stuff for me. So the event is going to be at the JW Marriott in downtown Austin, which is like all of half a block from a dozen other hotels. We will have a small block of rooms at the hotel for our speakers and for some other people and for about 15 or 20 of you that want to stay at the actual hotel. But if you don't, it's downtown. So there's condos everywhere that are Airbnb.
It's all, Airbnbs and everything.
Hotels everywhere. Yeah. So if you don't or can't stay at the actual hotel where the event is, the JW Marriott, then I believe in your ability to find alternatives.
Yeah, I do too. And people are doubling up. You want to share an Airbnb, which is, I mean, let's face it, Dave, not wise, right? Because one of you is going to be a killer.
And I'd also like to talk
FAQ.
And I know we're going to need to shut down pretty quickly too, but I would like to talk just for a second about the hotel, because we actually, we agreed to a hotel pretty quickly, but honestly, it isn't our first choice. We did it at VUCA last year, which was awesome.
My first choice.
Well, of course it is, with your little room, and like, you better bring a black light this time. All I'm saying. So, we want something like VUCA was very much not a hotel, so it didn't feel like a conference. It felt really special, but we're not going too big. Like there's definitely going to be more people this year, but we're not taking a big jump up. And due to our timing and our size and just the fact that this is a second year, Amy doesn't have a lazy bone in her body. She works really hard, but she needs to work hard in the right ways. And last year there was just too much on her and she needed support. And so a hotel was going to give us the right amount of support for this middle year and for, just not really having everything, in place at the right time and all of that. So next year we'll iterate to something different. Maybe the hotel will be so amazing that we'll do a hotel next year. Who knows? I think Amy's hoping so. but we're also not opposed to finding a really cool space like VUCA that can hold a few more of us and have more than 2 bathrooms. So
5 years out, Sean will have built the Sterling and Stone Writer Center. It'll be like this multi-million-dollar project.
What's funny is that Dave is kidding, and Johnny and I have actually talked about this, and he doesn't even know.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't, not for something this big, but yes, we have talked about this.
So yeah, it'll happen. But anyway, we're really, really excited about this event. It's last year we were, fortunate enough to have Amy helping us put it on. This year we have Amy and Christine, so everyone wins. Like we're all going to have a great event, and you guys are going to have a great event. And even if you can't make it, because like, let's be honest, most people listening to this aren't going to make it. Like, ratios don't work. It still is a very powerful thing for us as a community, because come May, we're all going to be stronger. We're all going to be smarter, and our community shares. So our show will be stronger, our community will be stronger, and you'll be stronger. So we're really looking forward to this event and growing as a company and a community. So
as we wrap up, let me just run through this 2017 Smarter Artist Summit. It is April 26th and 27th of 2017 at the JW Marriott in Austin, Texas. And we do have like we said, that very small pool that we're going to do. Christine's going to do that workshop the day before. So that would be Tuesday, April 25th, but that's just a tease. We don't have details on that yet. We'll let you know when we have something available on that. We gave you the speaker roster: Jenna Sword, David Gauguin, Calvin Chinier, Christine Niles, Clark Chamberlain, Chris Fox. Is there anything else that we need to just sort of announce or no?
There are only 100 tickets left as of right now.
Only 100, which is a little bit of a ball buster, because I was really hoping to close with there's less than 100 tickets left, and it's just the one more has to go. All right. So is there smarterartistsummit.com? Until the end of the year, it's $500. It'll go up to $800 at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think we're good. If you have any questions, check out the FAQ on the site.
Which is snarky, I hear.
Yeah, you should wear a snark-proof vest if you
email Heather help@sterlingandstone.net if you need anything, and we will get you taken care of because we want you to be there.
All right. So thank you, Amy, for being on. SmarterArtistSummit.com. Looking forward, bigger and better. Not bigger because it's better. Wait, the other way around. But it'll be better. It'll be better for sure.
We're almost there.
No, that wasn't trying. I wasn't even trying to be immature. I think that's the assumption now. So that's it. So, all right, everybody. So SmarterArtistSummit.com. Thanks to Amy for being on, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.